Good morning, students. Beta, today we will find the width of the central maxima. Central maxima, I already discussed with you that how we get the central maxima and the secondary maxima and the minimas, which is a diffraction pattern of the single slit. Beta, last time I told you that the central maxima we get because of the light coming from the whole portion of the slit, and the secondary maximas we get due to the light coming from the small portion of the slit. Beta, today we'll find the width of this maxima, which is central maxima. I already draw the diagram this time because it's very difficult for me to draw the diagram by holding mobile. See beta, the point which I consider, the point P which I consider from this central point O where we get the central maxima, I am taking this point P at a distance of x. I don't remember what I considered that time. Okay, now I am considering this point P from the central point O at a distance of x, and we know the distance of the slit from the screen is capital D. Okay beta, the central maxima, this is the central maxima which you get, which I show here by drawing here. You get it's like this. This pattern comes out to be like this. Actually I took point P at a very far away from O, so this pattern is very thick. The central maxima width is very much here. Okay beta, this is the central maxima which we get on the screen. I showed you here. This is the central maxima, and on the both sides of the slit from the central point O we get the secondary maxima and the minimas of decreasing intensity. Okay beta, see bache, now today as we'll calculate the width, so width we going to calculate. Width is of two types. One is linear width and the second one is the angular width. Now beta, the linear width is basically the distance between, linear is a line, so linear width is a distance between these secondary minimas on the both side of the central maxima. This is my point P. Okay, the which I show you here, I am marking this point P in this diagram, intensity curve diagram. This is my central point O of the screen. This point O is this one, and this minima point P I am showing here. This is the point P, and the distance of point P from point O where we get the minima or maxima. Beta, we already calculated the conditions of minimas and the maximas, and I think it's clear to all of you now. This is my central point O. Now see beta, the linear width is the distance between these first secondary minimas on the both side of the, on the either side of the central maxima. So this one, distance from P, if I consider this point as R, so the distance from P to R, it gives me the width which we called as linear width. So linear width is the distance, it is a distance between the first secondary minimas on either side or on both side of central maxima. Okay beta, this is my, this distance from P to R, this is the distance from P to R. This distance from P to R give me linear width of central maxima. Now beta, then we will also calculate the angular width. Angular, as when we say word angular, the word angular comes from the angle. Now the angular width, see beta, angular width is basically the angle at which this maxima spread, because we are finding the angular width of central maxima. I'm considering the central maxima. So this is the angle at which this my maxima spread. See beta, if this is my diffraction angle, is these rays are diffracting and they meet at point P. If I'm considering point R here, then and I'm joining this point C and R. Okay, see, let me join. Okay, I'm joining this point C and R. This is the angle. If this is the diffraction angle theta, if I'm that time I think I name it as theta. If this is the diffraction angle theta, then these rays are diffracting at the both sides. Then this is also diffraction angle theta. Now you can easily see the angle PCO is my theta and angle OCR is also theta. This is the angle at which my central maxima is spreading. So this whole is my angular spread. So angular width is my angle at which central maxima spreads. Now you can see the central maxima is spreading between the angle. This is PCR. So this whole angle is my angular width. Or we can also define this angular width as the angle between the direction of the rays. Beta, these are which rays? Not rays, these are the directions of, this is my first minima. So I can also define this angular width as the angle between the direction of first minima. This is first minima on both sides of central maxima. This will give me angular width. So you can easily see from the diagram. Then if we have to find the angular width, if this is whole is the angular width, because this whole is the spread of central maxima, then angular width is equal to, then my angular width is equal to beta, angular width is equal to this theta plus theta. When I combine these both the angles, then I get the whole spread. Then angular width is equal to theta plus theta is equal to twice of theta. Okay beta, बच्चे we already calculated the conditions for secondary maxima and the minimas. As angular width is the angle spread between angle spread of this which we get, this is our central maxima. It is the angle at which the central maxima is spreading, and you can easily see the central maxima is spreading between the two secondary minimas, and these minimas are my first secondary minimas. This is the first point of my minima and this is my second point of minima. This angle spread is between the first secondary minimas. So okay, see, so beta, as we know our angular width is equal to 2 times of theta, and we know we get the first secondary minima. When we get first secondary minima, if the waves are diffracted at an angle of theta, and that angle theta is equal to, we already calculated the condition that we get the first secondary minima when the path difference between the diffracted rays is n lambda. We calculated the conditions. See beta, if theta is the diffraction angle at which we get first secondary minima, then if theta is the angle at which rays are diffracted and we are getting this first secondary minima at point P, P. Beta, we already calculated the conditions when we get the first secondary minima. When we get the first secondary minima, that time rays should be diffracted at an angle theta, and that angle theta should be equal to lambda by d. If you remember, we calculated the path difference. D sine theta is equal to n lambda, or sine theta is equal to n lambda by d, as our theta was small, so theta is equal to n lambda by d. This is for our journal theta. If our n is equal to 1, for first minima we put n is equal to 1, we get theta 1 is equal to lambda d. This is, we get the first minima when our rays are diffracted at an angle of lambda by d. So angular width we get, now we are finding the angular width of central maxima, and the angular width of central maxima is the angle spread between the first secondary minima. So I can also write this theta as theta 1. You can write theta as theta 1, or it's up to you. If I write theta 1 or I keep it as theta, both are the same. Now beta, therefore my angular width becomes, if I substitute this angle value here, then it becomes 2 times of lambda over d. This is the angular width of my central maxima. But you can easily see the angular width depends upon the wavelength and the distance between the slits. This angular width does not depend on the parameter d, the distance between the slit and the screen. So hardly matters if you take away your screen away from the slit, then the angular width does not change, because the parameter capital D is not included in the expression of angular width. Okay, this is my angular width. Now let's find out our linear width. As I already told you, linear width is the distance. I'm drawing only central maxima. Is it clear or blur? Yes, it's clear now. This was my point O. This, I consider this as point P, and I also consider this point as R, and the distance from O to P is, I consider as X. This is my diagram. Okay beta. Now I already told you linear width is the distance between first secondary minimas on both sides of the central maxima. So for the linear width, we have to find out this distance P to R. We are finding, for linear width, we are finding the distance from P to R. Okay, now see. Yes, beta, now we are going to calculate this linear width as the distance. Therefore the linear width becomes, because it is the distance from P to R, therefore it becomes PO plus OR. We know my PO is X. I consider it as X, as the pattern is formed on the both sides of the screen, and at the same, if this is my X, then this distance should also be X, because it is formed on the both sides of the screen. This X plus X becomes 2X. Now we are going to calculate this value, and then we will put here. See beta. Okay beta, as this linear width is the distance between the first secondary minimas we get on the both sides of the central maxima, and we know, okay, I'm writing here. Okay, and we know, and we already calculated the conditions of minima. We already calculated the condition of first secondary minima. When we get this first secondary minima, when path difference, when my path difference d sine theta is equal, as our path difference is d sine theta is equal to n lambda, as I already calculated here. So we get the first secondary minima when n is my 1. So therefore I get first secondary minima when d sine theta is equal to lambda, or my sine theta is equal to lambda by d. Okay beta, this condition we already calculated. We know this, so we don't need to calculate here again. So this is we get at this point we get the first secondary minima if the diffraction angle theta is lambda by d, because we consider here theta is very small, then sin theta is almost equivalent to theta. Now beta, see this diagram. When you see this diagram, this angle CPO, I am going to consider this triangle, and this is my right angle triangle. This is my right angle triangle. This angle POC is always 90 degree. Now in right angle triangle, okay, in right angle triangle, which triangle? POC. Beta, now from this triangle we will find out the tan theta. Then the tan theta comes out to be, in this triangle, tan theta is equal to PO over OC. Is it clear? In triangles POC, this is my angle theta, then tan theta is equal to PO over OC. See bacha, in right angle triangle POC, my tan theta is equal to PO over OC. PO over OC. My PO, I consider PO as X. It comes out to be X over D. Or my tan theta is equal to X over D. See bacha, we are taking the approximation that this distance D is very much larger in comparison to the distance between these slits. Now beta, see, if our angles are very small, okay, let me take another. Is it clear? No, it's blur. Now it's clear. Beta, if angle theta is very small, then my sin theta is almost equal to tan theta, and then my tan theta is almost equal to theta. If angles are very small, then we can consider this tan theta is equivalent to sin theta, and that is equivalent to theta. Therefore, the conditions which we get here, this sin theta is equal to lambda by d, we can write theta is equal to lambda by d. Or we get here tan theta is equal to x by d, or we can write theta is equal to x over d. So both these are thetas. This is my theta, this is also theta. When I compare both the thetas, what we get? We get lambda d is equal to x over d. Lambda do is equal to x over d. Now beta, or x is equal to lambda d over d. This is the value of x, or this is the value of the distance of first secondary minima from this center point O. Now as we know, we get the central maxima between the two secondary minimas, or the central maxima is equivalent to our width of my central maxima is equal to 2x. Therefore linear width is equal to 2x. When I put the value here, I get linear width as 2 times of lambda d over d. So this is the linear width we get. Beta, we also do one supposition here. If this lens is placed very close to the this slit, not slit, this is my screen. If lens is placed very close to the slit, then the focal length of the lens, is almost equivalent to the distance between the slit and the screen. Then we replace this capital D by focal length f, and at that time my this linear width comes out to be this, if we do this supposition. Okay beta, this is my linear width, and we already calculated the angular width. Now beta, see, we will this is width of central maxima is in your syllabus. Okay, let me show you. Width of secondary maximas are not there, but let me show you. As we always told you that the brightness of these secondary maximas is less than that of the central maxima, we will also calculate the width of these secondary maximas. Beta, you can see we get these. This is my first secondary maxima. we get the first secondary maxima between these two minimas. We always get the maxima between the two minimas. Now I am considering the general case, width of secondary maxima. We calculated the width of central maxima. Now I am going to calculate the width of these secondary maximas. We get the maximas between two minimas. If this is my first, second, I get the first secondary maxima between the first secondary minima and the second secondary minima, and similarly I get the second secondary maxima between the first secondary these minimas, between these minimas. This is my second minima and this is my third minima. Now see beta, if we consider the general case, then we know that the secondary maximas are formed between, we know the secondary maximas are formed between two minimas, and now I am considering the general case. If and we know that the nth minima is formed. I am considering the general case. Nth, if general case mean if this is my first, this is my first, and this is my second minima. If I consider this first as n, then this second will be n plus 1. Okay beta, now this case I am going to consider in general form. We know that the nth minima is formed if our diffraction angle theta n is equal to, we already calculated the condition, theta n is equal to n lambda by d. Okay beta, and I get the next, this second means n plus 1, and we get the n plus 1th minima, and we get the n plus 1 minima when nth plus 1 minima is formed when this n becomes now n plus 1. If my diffraction angle is theta n plus 1. Now I am simply putting the value of n plus 1 here, it becomes d. Okay beta, is it clear? It's n is like first and this n plus 1 is like second. This is my first minima, this is my second minima. I am considering the general case. Now beta, my angular width, this angular width of nth secondary maxima will subtract the both of these. It will become theta n plus 1 minus theta n. Now beta, when we substitute the values here, it's n plus 1 lambda over d minus n lambda over d. If I take the LCM, then it will become n lambda. This lambda will get multiplied with all the terms within the bracket. We get n lambda minus n lambda. This lambda get cancelled. So the angular width comes out to be, for secondary maximas, comes out to be lambda d. Beta, you can clearly see the angular width which we get in case of central maxima, which we calculated. Where we calculated? Yes, here. Angular width was 2 lambda by d. Central maxima angular width was 2 lambda by d, and the angular width of secondary maxima is lambda by d. This width is half of the width of the central maxima. It means central maxima which we get in diffraction pattern, its width is twice as wide as the width of the secondary maximas. Okay beta, thank you बच्चे.